Well, what the IMF deal will certainly do is provide some much needed economic and fiscal breathing space to the government. It will also likely result in a strengthening of the rupee against the dollar, which, as we know, has been plummeting in value. And those will, of course, also provide some political breathing space for the government. I mean, especially in terms of its narrative. They'll be able to say that we've averted default, we have put Pakistan's economy on the right track after what they call the mismanagement of the PTI and so on and so forth. Will that, in the short term, yes, I believe it will reduce the government's unpopularity. Whether that can be translated into long or even medium term gains is up for debate because the government's unpopularity, while yes, a lot of that can be laid on the economy, all of it can't be laid on the economy. There are numerous other factors that will have to be weighed and factored in before one can say definitively whether it will reduce the government's unpopularity. For the record, I feel that it will do so in the short term, but again, the medium and the long term are two entirely different questions. The first question we have to ask us is, when are the elections coming? If we are to see elections, say, in November, then yes, it's possible that it will deliver a slight bump to the government, but I will say it will deliver a slight bump because the elections won't simply be fought on whether or not they manage to get the IMF deal or not. They'll be fought on, once again, a number of factors and a number of platforms, not least of which will be the fate of Imran Khan and the PTI. This other question we need to ask ourselves is, how free and fair do we expect these elections to be? I mean, both in terms of pre-poll maneuvering and everything else that we have seen in the past related to elections, notably the 2018 elections. If this is going to be more or less a repeat of that with a largely manufactured mandate, smaller parties put up to split vote banks, result in a hung parliament. So that's a whole another can of worms, really. And I don't think that the IMF deal will play a huge role in the upcoming elections.